ड्रॉप आती है मेरी। सी यू लेटर। दोस्तों देखो ये सुबह सुबह का कितना अच्छा नज़ारा है। चारों तरफ हरियाली है। यहाँ पर थोड़ा जंगल सा है, इसे क्रॉस करके ही ट्रैक तक जाना पड़ता है। फ्रेंड्स आप चेक कर सकते हैं मेरे 3.28 किलोमीटर कंप्लीट हो चुका है। चलिए अब शुरू करते हैं एक्सरसाइजेस। गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स, एक्सरसाइज शुरू करते हैं। दिनेश एस कुमार, लेट्स स्टार्ट द एक्सरसाइज। exercise chains, toe touching, left right. Commence with me.
अगर यूपीआई पेमेंट्स के बदले पॉइंटलेस कूपन्स और पॉइंट्स कलेक्ट कर रहे हो तो आप सच में नुकसान कर रहे हो। स्विच टू Amazon पे यूपीआई। किसी को भी पैसे भेजो और पाओ 50 रुपीज का कैशबैक ऑफर ऑन योर नेक्स्ट Amazon ऑर्डर, क्योंकि Amazon पे यूपीआई देता है नाम का नहीं बड़े काम का कैशबैक।
thousands of realistic voices to use in your content. Change the way you record podcasts, voiceovers, and branded content with the #1 AI-powered voice generating technology. Stop searching for the perfect voice and stop wasting time re-recording take after take. Try 11 Labs for free and start elevating your content today.
चलिए फ्रेंड, चेंज करते एक्सरसाइज, लेग रेस, कमेंट्स विद मी। सर नमस्कार।
क्या आप दुबले पतले कमजोर हैं? आपकी सेहत नहीं बनती। भूख कम लगती है, वजन नहीं बढ़ता। दरअसल मेन बात खाना पीना खाना नहीं है, मेन बात है खाया पिया शरीर को लगना। और अगर खाया पिया लगेगा ही नहीं तो आपकी सेहत बनेगी कैसे? इसलिए हमारी संस्था सन्यासी आयुर्वेदा ने एक ऐसी दवा का निर्माण किया है जो कि आपके लिवर को, आपके पाचन तंत्र को दुरुस्त करने का काम करती है, ताकि आप जो भी खाएं उसका पूरे का पूरा निचोड़ आपके शरीर को लगे, आपकी भूख बढ़े, खाया पिया सही से।
फ्रेंड्स, चेंज करते एक्सरसाइज, कमेंट्स विथ मी.
You know, I got high school graduation tomorrow and the party at the house. We had to go to Costco today and get all the stuff. So you can't send your claw to Costco right now. You just have a very self-satisfied look on your face.
They could hire somebody from
I'm not gonna hire somebody to go to
Instacart.
Costco.
Yeah.
No, come on. It's important to do your own shopping at Costco. Do you have a person for that?
Well, Andrea, my wife, will go. Or we'll
You
have
never
it.
go to Costco?
Huh?
Do you know what Costco is? It's like this big.
We are
like
in
a data center
Costco's
without.
hometown. We're in Costco's hometown.
It's like a data center with food, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would feel comfortable. There's like loud AC, and then there's racks of stuff, except it's snacks.
Cheap hot dogs.
Cheap hot dogs. The hot dogs, yeah. That's a good reason to go to Costco.
I did more than you. How many sessions did you do?
I did the keynote. I worked on 2 segments within the keynote. I did the 2-hour thing, which required planning meetings that you didn't show up to.
Yep.
Then I did the session with you, which required planning meetings that you told us to go to. You did not show up to. You said go and plan that. And then I did like a ton of press, this was the first build that I was like, they let me talk to actual newspapers and magazines and stuff.
I did 2. I did the 3. I did our 2 things, and 2 other sessions.
Okay. Well, so that's a little bit of work, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More work than you.
I don't know. It was hard. I was, for the first, like I had they assigned me a person, a lovely person named Heather, who helped me like manage my calendar, and Heather just keeps me like
on track.
Conscious. Keeps me on track and like says, go into that room and do this thing and da-da-da-da. So that was kind of cool. But I'm tired. How did your other talk go? I was busy working on
talks.
Our talk. Oh, sorry, talks. You did 3 talks?
Including yours, yeah.
You did 2 sessions. Our session, and you did your innovation session.
No, I did 2 other sessions.
Seriously? Oh my God. What was the other one?
I told you.
What was the third
You
one?
think I was making stuff up?
I thought you were making stuff. I thought you hallucinated that.
No, I did one, which was a chat between me and Jan Stoke.
Oh, yeah. Was he cool? Is he a good guy?
Yeah, he's great. I mean, I'd known him from before. We met a few times, and I'd visit Berkeley and
okay. Explain to the people why he's a significant person.
So, if you've heard of Mesos, if you've heard of Ray, if you've heard of VLLM, if you've heard of Spark, and if you've heard of Databricks, he's behind all of those things. Mm-hmm. He runs. He's a professor in Berkeley. Has been doing systems research forever, and all of those projects came out of his lab. And was the co-founder and original CEO of Databricks.
Wow. And gosh, he's been doing this basically forever. I mean, he did like OCR back in the day. So like before before AI had branding. That's why they call him the godfather of AI, right?
Yeah. His impact has been just pretty monumental.
Yeah. I mean, he was doing like transformers and neural networks in the 80s.
Oh, and the LM leaderboard, that's his too.
So did he see all this coming? Like, did he see the hockey stick as it went like that?
I don't know. We didn't talk about that. We talked about how AI impacts systems architecture.
Okay.
We did get into the end. I had to ask him, since I had him there, what about the future of software engineering, and if we'd get to the point where, which, as you and I have discussed and we talked in our session, I'll go tell, this topic will come up when I'm talking to somebody, and they'll say, hey, at some point, you're not going to need programmers because AI will just be able to do it all. And I just do not believe that to be true. I don't believe that transformers will get us there. I don't believe that agentic frameworks won't get us there. And we've talked about this before on this podcast and other sessions about the reasons why. But I thought great opportunity to ask Ian. And he immediately was like, no, it's not going to happen.
No.
You will need people that know what they're doing. And the reason boils down to exactly what we've talked about, which is you can't specify everything. And wherever there's a gap in the specification, AI will just go make stuff up.
100%.
And that stuff can violate your implicit assumptions, might have gaps in their completeness, and not be what you hope and expect. And this is why we talk about sculpting. And I think software engineering, is sculpting. You need feedback. You need to use it. You need to say that button's in the wrong place, and
right.
And I need to get this information. And it'd be nice if I could save these 5 steps with a different gesture. All of that just comes through using it. And if you're not using it as you go, then you're just going to have a monster cleanup job at the end. And maybe the architecture that grew up in that one shot isn't an architecture that can support all the tweaks you want to make. So that's my view on it. And it's very contentious, obviously. There's very smart.
Is it contentious?
It is. There's so many really smart people even in the industry. People that you and I look up to as mentors and heroes of the industry that are open to hey, maybe there won't be any software engineers, a need for software engineers.
The only way that there would be no software engineers is if next token prediction can predict it to the point where the ambiguity space can be filled with reasonable specificity. And like the whole joke we used to tell when I was teaching was that your program runs exactly as you wrote it. It is deterministic. And if you leave anything up for interpretation, that's up for interpretation, not up for statistical mean. Are you getting a Teams call?
Yeah, spam.
Sure. You get spam Teams calls?
Oh yeah, at work spam.
Nobody calls me on Teams spamming.
I'll start answering and giving them your number. Hey, you know what? I'm not interested, but you know who is?
Call this guy. Yeah.
Tell all your friends.
Spam Teams, Scott? No, man. Dude, remember when Skype spam used to be a huge problem? Now I'm getting Telegram spam from random people.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And they just say are you going to the golf course today? Yeah, they really know me.
That's phishing spam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, you're going fishing.
Yeah.
Double entendre. No, the whole thing is remember spec-driven development. Oh, we'll just do spec-driven development. Yeah, we'll make keywords, and we could highlight them with the special syntax, and maybe we could make a compiler to compile. It's programming.
Yeah,
be specific.
That's what you get to. Programming is speccing, deep specs.
Deep specs, dude.
Yeah, and it's like go back to what's the spec? Well, and what's the documentation? Check out the code.
And there it is. And I've always said, I've got blog posts about this from 20 years ago. Word documents don't break the build.
Yeah.
So I was moving spec into code and spec into, deployment as code or infrastructure as code. And I've got a whole paper I wrote on this in, 2007. We were trying to do just desired state configuration and making desired state engines that would go and run over a description of a desired state. We even tried experimenting. We did a wacky thing back in the day. It didn't work, but it was cool. We checked the System32 folder into Git. It was Mercurial and then later Git in order to see if we could do like a track changes. And then we ended up doing like a SHA of each folder to make sure that like DLLs weren't changing. And it was all just part of how do we deterministically clear out that these machines in the web farm are all the same and that nothing on the machine came from somewhere else. My whole life has been driving towards determinism, and now it's just vibes, man. It's all just vibes.
Well, the frustration I've got with it is it's an argument you can't definitively win. It's just opinion.
Yep.
And intuition. I mean, it's like I can't from first principle. And also, I do believe that there is, software engineering and the apps and services are on a complexity spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And at some end of that spectrum, on the simple side, I can see, hey, you don't need a software engineer to build that thing. It's because the constraints, it's so simple. There's not that many constraints. The requirements are pretty well understood.
Mm-hmm.
The models are really good at knowing that path. And you can just, with a few sentences, give it a spec that's complete enough that it will do what you are expecting and hoping.
Yep. Exactly.
You get into the medium complexity, and that's where things fall apart, right?
Yep. I was actually meeting with a bunch of CTOs and Japanese CTOs at this Japanese event yesterday, just right before I got on the plane. And they wanted to know if it would go away and we wouldn't need software engineers. And I, of course, have very publicly said we're going to double down on teaching juniors, like whether it's called programming or specificationing or whatever. If you are unclear, it will become mediocre. So then, we had a meeting, Darby and I, with CMU today. And Michael Hilton is just so smart. Such a great guy. I could talk to that guy for hours. And
there's a lot of smart people at CMU and that have come from CMU.
I've heard that. Is that, you almost got in there, right? Is that to that university? Yeah. Dr. Mark. And we were trying to figure out what like an AI augmented software degree would look like. And we were talking about doubling down on QA, which is a lost art, doubling down on testing. So we wanted more of that. Mm-hmm. And then he actually had a specification class that talks about, software specification and the importance of that, but that was not related to AI. Like clarity of intent is what we want to teach people. So we're going to kind of double down on that.
Here's a controversial take.
Okay, what you got?
How do you make a junior engineer a senior, and you give them senior capability? A skills file.
You're going to make a markdown file that's going to allow someone to go to the next level?
Yeah. Thoughts? Because I've heard smart people say that.
I am starting to get offended and just a little bit irritated that people think that telling an LLM, you're an expert at blank, does stuff. Like it nudges word vectors in a certain direction, but it is not true that you can, you're an amazing senior and you make no mistakes. Like I'm so tired of that. And the idea that someone's going to upload a markdown file that is somehow unique or genius, and then someone says, that's the real unlock. That's not a thing.
We'll just have you a markdown file of Scott Hanselman.
Yeah, like that's I am more than the sum of my context. And you'd need a lot more.
Yeah.
Like someone actually emailed me today after seeing our talk and wanted to know if I would take my blog posts, my 20 plus years of blog posts, and turn it into some kind of a skill, and then have the blog start chewing out blog posts. And I just I haven't answered them. I need to figure out if I'm offended or not.
You sound a little bit offended. You sound offended.
It's just, I think that well, this is the thing, right? We believe what we believe. It's based on our intuition. It's based on a little bit of science. It's based on experience. But like, we could be wrong. Someone will watch this video in a couple of years and say we're wrong.
I try to check myself on this one. Is it? I believe these things because I want them to be true.
Yeah.
And I check myself like from a neutral perspective. I mean, I don't even it's not even I think, do I want? Because it's not relevant what I want. These things will evolve.
Yep. They are going to get better.
You know, efficiency is everybody's goal of carrying out tasks that these things are designed to carry out. And you can't stand in the way of that. You can't stop and say, no, don't be efficient.
Yeah.
Because we want humans to do stuff. And that's just not going to work.
Well, when I was talking to the Japanese, I used the analogy of how do you have Japanese carpentry and tradition exist in a world where IKEA also exists, like where the goal is furniture. The goal is good quality furniture, but the goals are different because IKEA is good quality furniture in a flat pack, at scale, at speed, to make a profit, while Japanese carpentry arguably does not have at scale, at a profit, like at its heart. And that resonated with the Japanese. And I think that they are going to continue to grind out really quality carpenters. They just won't be able to do as many. They can't win.
Well, actually, I mean, trying to map that analogy onto what we've been talking about, you know, you talk about that spectrum of software complexity.
Yep.
On the low end of that, the low complexity side of that, that's where you can have IKEA. You know,
that's a great point.
The agent with skills that can crank out your Web Plus database systems.
Exactly. If the Web Plus database doesn't matter, like I always talk about my podcast admin site for an audience of one. If I showed it to you, you would be like, this is Opus 4.5. Like it looks, it smells, it works, it runs. It's got a God object. Like it's classic late 2025 software. But it also works great, and it's got 1,000 tests, and it does exactly what I need it to do.
Yeah.
Would I ship it? No.
But what do you mean you do ship it? It is.
Let me rephrase. Would I ship it to an audience of two? Probably.
Oh, yeah. Okay, but if you take a look at line of business apps or bespoke systems.
Sure.
So, for example, the state retirement systems for state employees are almost always bespoke systems.
Right.
And they're implemented typically by engineers that are Java engineers. They're not systems people. They know basic software, you know, programming and software engineering.
Okay.
That kind of stuff, the need for that is everywhere. And it's not like shipped to lots of people. It's bespoke because there's bespoke systems in every state has their own bespoke data formats and software that they've built their stack on top of. And so you can't, by definition, create something there that is generic.
And they have small audiences.
And this is where they're typically on the very low end of the complexity spectrum.
Text boxes over data, as we've always said.
So that I could see being the IKEA side of things.
Yeah, but then it becomes the thing about, then it's all about money again. So then who can afford a Japanese carpenter? Who can afford having a house built from scratch, from spec, from, you know, custom houses versus McMansions?
Okay, so let's get even more controversial. What's cheaper? A Claude subscription with a senior programmer behind it?
Right.
Or a whole bunch of...
Yeah, hiring a team of senior programmers. It's complicated, man. It's complicated and it's expensive, and it all comes down to driving costs down. I think the question is, can you drive costs down to nothing, to zero, to...
Okay, so this is also something that I think we've talked about this before, and I've mentioned it.
Yep.
Like from the very first start when I was getting this boost, I immediately saw the bottleneck is evaluation. And evaluation are two things: tests, the actual tests themselves, or evaluation. My oversight of the output, whether it's the test output or the output of the system, the code itself, and how it behaves, is evaluation.
Right.
The bottleneck that is a
bottleneck. Right. It's your responsibility.
That will not go to zero. AI cannot make it go to zero. Tests take time to run. And the more complex your system, the more tests you've got. A moderately complex system, service in Azure, has tests that take hours to run. And so, when you're doing a web plus database and you're sitting your inner loop is basically the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's a very small set of tests, then that's perfect for AI and you iterating over it, and the AI iterating over it and making mistakes and going, I'm going to fix that, and trying again and doing it over. When you get into the point where it's like, well, I'm going to make this change, and you know what, when I commit it, I'm kicking off 5 hours of tests.
Right. And then you do 5 hours of test in parallel across 10 PRs across.
The stakes are high for something failing in the middle of that 5 hours. So what that means is that you want to invest more on evaluation before you even do the tests in what the output is.
But when you say invest more in evaluation, then it's more AI, it's more models, it's adversarial reviews.
It is more that, and that takes time too, by the way, and money.
Yep.
So
is it faster?
So I think everybody, I think, you hear this too. Cost of software is going to zero.
Yep.
Well, only because the people that are playing with it and vibe coding crap, they only see this tiny slice on a very simple side of the spectrum of complex software systems complexity. And they go, wow, this thing that, and even on the small projects we got, this would have taken me months. Now it took me hours. Cost of software is going to zero. But the things that we're working on the low end of the complexity spectrum, we're not shipping it to production. We're not maintaining it. And we don't have, and the system is, because it's simple, doesn't have tests that run hours.
Right, and the cost of those little utilities, those little command line utilities, the little vibe coded thing, that is being driven to near zero.
So that side of things, again, it's that Kia side of things. I think we'll just start calling it that, the Kia side of things.
With all respect to our friends at IKEA.
Yeah, that is, the cost of that is going to zero.
So then the question is, will Japanese carpentry be driven to zero?
Not going to zero.
Right. That's where we are saying we believe it will not go to zero.
Yeah.
And we don't know. We don't know, and we could be wrong. And the question, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you're convinced.
I thought the saying was Mark is always right.
The saying is, as I recall, he who is most likely to make declarative statements is most likely to be called a fool in retrospect. So I just kind of worry.
Make a declarative statement?
Yeah, well, we are making declarative statements.
No. Did you just make one by making that statement?
There you go. It's turtles all the way down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
So look, I think it's one of those things. As we talked about the skill of success in a complicated world, which can be an organizational world or technology world, is always leaving room for being wrong.
Yep. It is. And it depends, though, is tiresome after so many years, though.
Yeah.
Like you and I, like all things, it's like, well, it depends. Does this solution work for some set of specifications? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you just triggered something in me.
Oh, what do you got?
Well, this is of course, everything has nuance. Of course it does. And what bothers me is you've got to make a statement about directionally, and for the most part. And what I can't, just annoys me is you're in meetings or you're talking with other groups, and you make this, hey, this is the way things, this is what's going to work. This is what we should do. And then you have the people that are like, wait. What about all these? I don't necessarily agree with that. All of these nuances. And I'm like, of course, it's obvious. Those nuances are obvious. You're missing the point of what I'm trying to say here, which is this is the direction. And we got to take into account all those nuances on the way there. But unless you can plant a flag or point at something and say, let's go there, you're never going to make any progress. And if you sit here all the time with your nuances and edge cases and conditions, and that's not helpful, especially in the early stages of figuring out what you want to do.
Well, and I think figuring out what you're going to do is also about the definition of done. That was another big thing when I was teaching, is that early in career people who are developing their sense of taste don't quite know yet what done looks like. So they'll declare victory well before. But then people who are a little bit farther along in their career, and I think I want to say that you're like this a little bit is that I would have called done a week ago, and you're like, no, that's not even close to done. Like, we're at 98%, we're at 99%. Like, yes, but I found this edge case. Like with your scroller stitcher thing, you know what I mean? I declared done at 80%.
Well, yeah, but actually, I think that has served me well. Like Sys and
It has
Turtle.
absolutely served you well. To your
Let's
credit.
take Sys and Turtles, right?
100% agree.
I was like, it can't be done until I believe that it's done. If there's weaknesses in it that I run into, I've got to address them, because somebody else is going to run into it and go, this is crappy software, or they got a bad experience, and it taints the reputation of the whole thing.
Well, so I was working on the Windows companion app that I showed you for OpenClaw, and I'm like, this is alpha. You know what I mean? Like, I feel okay about it. I've been using it. I've been using it for weeks without any problems. But I know that there's going to be somebody on a weird OS or a weird build or a weird this or in a non-English language, and I haven't thought about that, and I'm going to get nailed. And it's still alpha. But the OpenClaw folks are like, nope, it'll be fine. And of course, that is the whole move fast and break thing, which is a cultural choice to ship software early.
I think it's fine to, when there's expectation around it. Well, this is an open source project. It's, single guy behind it. I expect it to have rough edges.
Yeah,
it's moving fast in a fast moving world. If it's coming from Microsoft and it's going to lots of people.
That's what I said.
The bar is different.
Yeah, because we went to leadership and we got a couple people to help out, and the team's doing a great job. But like, even a tiny team in a couple of weeks, half time, you know what I mean? Like, they have other jobs, they have other stuff to do. What's the old joke? 9 women can't have a baby in a month. Like, there is a certain amount of baking that just needs to happen, and we're continuing to bake, and I'm proud of the software, but I have no doubt that there's dragons deep inside it somewhere.
So Simon Willison, who we got to hang out with at Build, one of the blog posts that we point at is, and what he said at Build in our discussions with him and also in his talk, is the only software he'll trust is software that has been used by lots of people for some period of time.
That's a great point. And he has whole blog posts talking about how you are ultimately responsible for shipping, which is on you, and it doesn't matter where the code came from, whether it was from open source. And I'm starting to use the analogy of, if the LLM makes a bunch of code, you should treat it with the same kind of distrust that you take a random open source person's pull request.
Yep.
You just don't know. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I don't know what our.
Oh, that's a show right here. I don't know what the actual I
had more to talk.
Oh, please continue talking. We'll. I'll step out. What do you got?
You're good. Thanks for your contribution, Scott.
No. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're right to push back. No, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, what? Wow, you interrupted me.
Must be my fault. Do you remember what you said? Simon Willison, you're responsible for
what you ship.
What you ship. And I didn't interrupt you. I supported you with an interjection.
All right, I can't remember. And then, it's one of those things now that my brain's like, I know what you want, what you're looking for, but.
And now your brain is just trolling you at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, well. Maybe when you come back after we go to these sponsors or whatever, we should probably get sponsors at some point.
Yeah.
We'll return back and we'll go, the next episode, Mark will remember what he was going to talk about. Because that could be a whole next episode.
Mark learns to remember.
This one's only, we need a memory system. We need to work on that. We'll find the markdown file, the Rusinovich.md file that has all the things that it needs to have.
It's actually the notebook that I talked about.
Yeah? We should talk about that.
No, we already did.
Did we do that?
Did you not remember?
Dude, I don't know what day it is. We covered this at the beginning of the show. I don't know what day it is.
We talked about keeping task lists.
Oh, yeah. The to-dos. Yeah, that was good. Good. Yeah. Yeah, I've got my Moleskine notebooks or Moleskine? Moleskine?
I don't know. Moleskin.
You called me out in public because I said pleb and it's plebe?
Yeah.
Plebeian?
Actually, look that up.
Okay, hang on. We got to find that out now because I've been saying pleb.
I think you can have AI say it out loud.
Plebeian.
Right. If you go to dictionary.com, they have a...
Thank you. I am familiar with how to use the internet, but I will go ahead and hit dictionary.com.
Were you familiar with that site?
Yeah. Plebeian. Yeah, it is plebeian.
Oh, that plebeian. No.
No. Can you hear this? Is it cutting it out?
So is it pleb or plebe?
Well, that's the thing. When you
What?
shorten it,
It's plebe.
Pleb looks like pleb.
But
Let's
it's
actually look that up in dictionary.com. Nope, it says C, plebeian. A member of the Roman plebs. Aha!
what?
You hear this?
Pleb?
It's plebs. When you shorten it, plebeian is plebs. The common people of ancient Rome.
Oh, it's plebeian though.
It's
No, it's plebeian.
Is it plebeian?
Plebeian. Uh-huh.
Plebeian. It's not plebeian.
Okay, but it's plebeian.
Yes, but I was right, is all that matters.
Oh, and it's a pleb.
Yeah, funny how that
All
works.
right, you're right.
Yeah.
Plebeian, pleb.
We have to open with this part of it.
Yeah.
I want "you're right" in Mark's voice to be my ringtone now. So this is excellent.
Did I say you're right?
You did. Yeah, I'm clipping it. I'm clipping it. It's becoming a TikTok.
It was magic. It was
magic.
Yeah.
If you made it this far into the show, like and subscribe, add a comment, and you are better than your peers. Is that that's our new? Because people
You're in the top 1% of 1%.
1% of human beings on planet Earth. If you made it to the end.
1% of 1%.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're on the far right of the bell curve.
Yeah.
100% agree. All right, cool. Like and subscribe, please share, and please comment, and we will see you again next week.
हम अपने काम के लिए निकल पड़ते हैं, कभी प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए, कभी सपनों के लिए, पर एक बात हम सब में कॉमन है,
हम रुकते नहीं। हमारे लिए हर मिनट मायने रखता है।
हमारे लिए ड्यूटी खत्म होती है, सफर नहीं। क्योंकि हमारे खर्चे कम, इरादे ज्यादा होते हैं। हम वो लोग हैं जिनको रुकना मंजूर नहीं। और हमारे लिए द न्यू सिट्रोएन EC3X, जो कभी न रुके।
एमपीपीएससी सिर्फ एक परीक्षा नहीं बल्कि जिंदगी बदलने का मौका है और यह मौका सिर्फ उन्हीं लोगों को मिलता है जो तैयार रहते हैं। इसलिए एमपीपीएससी स्टडी आईक्यू प्लेटफॉर्म आप सभी लोगों के लिए एक फाउंडेशन कोर्स लेकर के आया है जिसमें आप अपनी जिंदगी को बदल सकते हैं, क्योंकि यह बैच आपको परीक्षा में सफल बनाने के लिए पर्याप्त है। इस बैच में आपको सभी जो प्रीलिम्स, मेंस और इंटरव्यू सभी सेगमेंट पर स्पेशल फोकस किया जाएगा। 1-to-1 मेंटरशिप मिलेगी। इसके साथ ही एमपी का स्पेशल कवरेज भी किया जाएगा और साथ में आपको मिलेगी फ्री टेस्ट सीरीज। इसके साथ में फ्री पूरा का पूरा आपको कंटेंट भी दिया जाएगा। तो अब देर नहीं करना है, अपना मोबाइल उठाना है, कॉल करना है 9289996921 पर और रजिस्टर कर देना है, या सीधा स्टडी IQ IAS वेबसाइट पर जाना है और इस कोर्स को इनरोल कर देना है। ये कोर्स की क्लासेस जल्दी ही स्टार्ट हो रही हैं, समय सीमित है, जल्दी करिए।
चलिए फ्रेंड्स, एक्सरसाइज चेंज करते हैं। नेक रोटेशन कमेंस विद दिनेश एस कुमार। एक्सरसाइज चेंज। गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स, कैसे हैं आप सब लोग। उम्मीद करता हूँ आप सब लोग ठीक होंगे। मैं भी बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ। आज के व्लॉग की शुरुआत करते हैं रनिंग से। चलिए शुरू करते हैं। देखते हैं आज कितनी किलोमीटर रनिंग कंप्लीट हो पाती है। सी यू लेटर। फ्रेंड्स आप देख सकते हैं ये थोड़ा पहाड़ी इलाका है, यहाँ पर जंगल सा भी है। सब लोग सुबह सुबह घूमने जाते हैं यहाँ पे वार सेमेट्री की तरफ। फ्रेंड्स आप सब देख सकते हैं 4 किलोमीटर से ऊपर पूरे हो चुके हैं मेरे। चलिए शुरू करते हैं आप 12वीं एक्सरसाइजेस। लेट्स स्टार्ट। चलो फ्रेंड्स शुरू करते हैं मॉर्निंग एक्सरसाइजेस।